Hey now, welcome to a, I'm gonna put it bluntly, a brand new series. A series means, that's gonna mean a lot to this channel, as it is my first dive into, ugh, something that is very important to me. A mix of a mix of create, a mix of Project E, and if you've seen any of my prior videos, you know how important Project E is to me as a creator, but also just in general. It's a mod that kind of gave me my upbringing as a creator, and in many ways. So to be back recording this type of stuff for you all is, different for me. To be back after nearing a year now, I think. Is that what it is? Obviously, for like the first night or so, while I get everything set up, it's gonna be peaceful, so I don't deal slimes and other things like that. My instinct almost said a no word, but I don't think I have to specify what that word was. For reasons that you all soon understand, I am gonna learn dirt and these soul lanterns, even though I do plan on, getting rid of these. You might be telling yourself, you might be asking yourself, but why? They turn off certain mobs. I don't want that, because I've done this series, I've done this world, this is probably like my fourth or fifth iteration. The difference between this hardcore, or anything like that, because there's a unique feature for this mod pack, which I'll include in because it's custom. A lot of the stuff I've added is custom made. Well, not custom made. You know what I mean? Is custom to the world. You can see those 5 lives. That is what resulted in me losing the most amount of progress to everything. It sucks to have to watch your world crumble because you couldn't correctly protect it. And also, there is something I am going to make very clear. This is that I'm actively going to cheat and to my settings, and also, fix my life between episodes. Because obviously I don't want this world to disappear very quickly. Because this mod is always unique in terms of how I handle it. I should probably also place down a crafting table and then a double chest. They're reminiscent of my old digging this hole. It's more for protection. You'll understand this later as it's night, because it's also to keep slimes out. How I do my barrier is very unique, because it also needs wool to correctly operate. Yes, you might notice that I have 9,000 XP already. 9,000, like, seal. Which, shockingly, doesn't happen. If I recall, so, heat obsidian, you need to trade wandering trade. Cool. That's, I guess, fine and dandy. Did I miss a dirt block or something? Or did I mine one? Regardless, this is basically where I start to deviate from where I would normally. This is basically like my own little base. 1, 2, 3. Build up 2. There is this section right here. It's going to be on both sides, obviously, for reasons. I'm going to do this so I know where the other 2 will be. Okay, 1, 2, 3, there. You can obviously see where this is going. But what you might not understand is why. So, a big factor in this mod is relying on mob drops. As you can tell, I don't have, like, I don't believe I started with any saplings. Yeah. Which can happen. You might also be wondering, how do I get stone? Well, I'd have to access the nether. And like I said earlier, you get obsidian through wandering traders. You might then be asking yourself, well, how do you get emerald? Well, what this mod trader did was actually add custom drops for wandering traders, villagers, etc., which is emeralds. Actually, wandering traders have a 75% chance of dropping a emerald. So whenever they spawn, it is very useful to kill them after they have spawned. I will need slabs and doors. The reasoning why will become apparent very shortly. So, a big thing about how I made my base prior is, if I remember correctly, here with then oak slabs like this. Now, there will be like for demonstration purposes, I will already have the chest, like roughly around here, which I will put, wool over. But you can probably already see where this is going. It's not the greatest, as you might see me learn through specifically skeletons and creepers. The thing about zombies are zombies. They will just see you regardless. It's a mechanic that I find so grateful. Where some people might find it annoying, I find it gratifying because I desperately need zombies to see me at night. And obviously, I'm rambling, so I can add content. But what I do desperately need is wool for most of this design to work. But you can see the basic design philosophy. However, this is where I deviate. So, if I remember correctly, I made this 2 blocks high for these sections. The reason why is will more than likely become apparent shortly. whenever I'm done building the base, I'm going to turn it off of peaceful. The wood doors will be eventually changed for iron. Mechanic, I stole a door to this day. Here is basically the final. Here is basically how the final design looks, for the most part. If you notice, there's this ring. However, at the moment, baby zombies will still bite my ankles. YouTube, please leave me alone. I am a small content creator. That was not intentional to say. I know the changes in policy and a lot of this stuff, so I might get in some trouble for have said that, but still, it helps that it would help if I'm not here, but still, like, uh, if there was a sheep that spawned, so I know llamas can drop, leather, which is interesting. I actually found that out when killing a wandering trader and his llamas, which I found odd. I'm adding, you know, uh, actually speaking to this because I don't want this building session to just be, boring. Doubt anyone will see it though, but I digress. As you can tell, it's very basic. For right now, 2 buttons are all I need. One out there. Well, technically yet. Well, actually, I can put in all 4 because of the block above them is where I put the second one. You might be wondering what's with the hole. This will be 2 blocks. This will be a block deeper in a moment. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make the ladders. Uh, I will actually be making a crafting station rather than a over a crafting table because, can connect to nearby inventories and also can hold your items if you're still crafting. One ladder there, there, and then here. Basically, if you can already see the vision, then you are amazing. I should honestly thank anyone who's watching this for, you know, being here because my last popular video was like maybe a year at this point. Honestly, my journey into being a YouTuber hasn't been the easiest. plagued with troubles from my brothers with how they interrupt my videos and this stuff and that. But honestly, it's been a really nice journey. Learning from my mistakes, learning how to, do better. Uh, it was. I need another pattern. Tinker Station, which I will put here because these two can connect. Uh, at Tinker's, I will need to go to the different workstations for very obvious reasons. Where are they? Uh, part builder, which is that, and part. Okay, part builder, complete, and then part chest, which is like this, the a log. I think that's what it said. No, plank. Doesn't really matter what. Sticks. This. One, two, three, four. This is really like the only EMCable stuff I can do for Tinkers. Can't really EMC much more. Didn't mean to put it there. I meant to put it here, so everything can connect. This is the older version of Part Builder. Part Chest. Okay. Okay. Now, regardless of how you view my cowardice as a YouTuber, I'm still early in my career, still young and inexperienced as a streamer. Because there has been a single stream that I've done on VRChat in a world called Get Lost. I heavily advise checking it out if you do play VR and are into horror related things, because takes kind of it kind of takes inspiration from SCP and Wendigo, which is both which are two major factors into that VRChat world. Yeah, I kind of deviated, but it's also content at the same time. Like, obviously, I you've seen if you're watching this, then you've more than likely seen my previous videos, knowing that my videos tend to drag on and on and on. And unfortunately, that's just my recording style. So, which doesn't exactly give a lot of people, because nowadays longer runtimes are basically uh like only I could decompress the flint pickaxe into its bare parts, because I need I like if you couldn't probably tell, I would need flint or gravel, which gravel on itself I believe can, well, if I can somehow get a philosopher's stone, which honestly I don't think I could, this thing Can't. Okay, wandering trader. Mob drops. It doesn't say that it drops anything. Molten Alchemy, it's not true because JI is JI and doesn't exactly care for mob and doesn't exactly care for recipes. And if you've been on my channel before, you've seen my struggle with recipes. I am planning on doing series on the pack Indonesian. Another mod that I've heavily adjusted to fit, my of buying different mods, as well as project as well as some others, to give it more of that difficult aspect, because a big part of what makes uh, that mod pack so difficult is that every so often recipes just straight up change. If I remember correctly, the text says you forgot what you once knew. However, your crafting menu, the crafting GUI menu does not adapt to this specific thing. Also, we need sheep. Again, like I mentioned before, I will explain a lot as I progress. Further into the mod pack on why I need certain things. What I mainly need, obviously, for the quest to get wool. Yes, you did see Ars Nouveau. Should theoretically be possible to get into. Well, there's no real way of avoiding it any longer. I have the bread I need. The problem is the slimes. I don't really need the slimes on my hands. So, this is where, Essential comes in. Cheats. Don't mind the friends list. A lot of, old friends and mix of newer ones and all this jazz and that jazz, whatnot. This is where things take the turn. Time, set, night. If you want, you can make a tally and, oh, right, there was one other command I wanted to make sure to do. Game rule. Mob griefing. Mob griefing false. The reason why is because you lose too much EMC by dealing with mobs like that. Basically, you turn after which didn't need to kill you. Okay, 2 spider eyes is, better than nothing. That learns, obviously, spider eyes. If you don't know. I know. Yell at me in the comments or whatever. Me, I don't really care. This is all I've done for a lot. Because what basically bones get me is the single greatest item, bone meal. Because if I learn it, it is cheaper than a potato. You probably see where I'm going with this. Considering the fact potato harvests double. Basically giving me small amounts of EMC per time doing it. Which is good because that allows me to access iron quicker. Well, kind of. The reason why I say kind of is because I need to roll the jackpot on the zombie drop of the um iron, which if you don't know isn't incredibly high. There's a baby zombie nearby, which actually does have the chance of but normally only drops flesh for however, zombies keep wearing a backpack. That's where I get a lot of my is off chance a mob drops iron, a zombie drops iron, I will basically be set for most of the series because these potatoes and how they grow. Also, zombies have the chance of if a zombie dies to fire and they roll the chance of dropping a cooked potato. And they roll the chance of dropping a potato. Something interesting happens because the zombie will actually drop a baked potato, which is a very interesting mechanic that some people just don't know about. Which actually is cheaper than bread. Funnily enough, it's cheaper than bread for the exact same price, which is wild to me to think about. That bread gives the same food and hunger as cooked food. However, because of how the start went, how successful we were with a lot of these drops, specifically the spider eye early on, not great. I would have much rather liked any of the other witch drops, you know, which mob drops, literally glowstone. Glowstone is massive because it basically gives something huge later on. Obviously, glowstone block, and the philosopher's stone, which is a massive step. Spectral arrows, which do, if I'm correct, damage deal more damage than a normal arrow. They also give. Also, this recipe is bullshit. Sorry for the cursing, but I just felt like I had to say it. These are actually possible, which is crazy to think about. Once you get a furnace going, Basically, you're set because you can smelt down iron tools and do. If you don't get any iron, well, from when you're screwed. However, you're not basically alone, as you can obviously tell. But other than that, this is where I will end it off. I know it's more than likely shorter than some of my other Minecraft content, but it's only the start to a new series I will be calling, uh, which I will be calling, uh, EMC, uh, Flatlands. Because obviously it sounds the best over, what's this mod actually called? It's like, EMC Super Flat or whatever. Super Flat EMC Survival. EMC Super Flat Survival. I think that's what the original mod's called. I am planning on changing my edit to this, calling it, uh, the game's Super Flat Survival. Look, my username is older than my current persona as, uh, known as Jman331, or if you're looking for me on VR chat, Jman332. That one is more, you know, experience. What the fuck? Drigamy. Drigamy? Do you drop anything? Oh, 0% chance of dropping the trophy? When killed? Like, what does this even... What do you even do? You clearly do something because I can interact with you. I can probably get a golden nuggets, which... If I remember correctly, one of my... Also, he's just stuck here, the Drigamy. Anyways, thank you for watching this all the way through if you got here. I would be greatly appreciated if you subscribed or told your friends about me, regardless, because I'm a small YouTuber. I don't have an editor. Everything I release is unedited. Unedited. Ugh. I don't like that word. Yeah. Except for two that we'll be releasing, technically they will be edited, only so that they are matched together, because it is basically a three-part episode of Who Murdered Sonic the Hedgehog, which me and one of my friends voiced over. So originally, I know. Round of applause for me for making that one up. And then a start to a Cobble mod series, which is a step in an odd direction for me. Anyways, look for new episodes. Watch my old ones. Maybe don't actually. The audio quality isn't great anymore. Well, wasn't great in the past. It's been greatly fixed, and just a huge thank you for giving me a chance to show off my love for Minecraft. Thanks. Peace out.